Hey, what's up, everybody? This is the Political Brown Kid here, and I'm back with another Hollywood in black and white. Again, with Hollywood in black and white, the purpose of these videos is just to kind of illustrate to you and really just kind of sink the thought or the concept in that there's a lot of symbolism going on in Hollywood, and it's all premeditated. Mind you, it's all premeditated. There's a lot of symbolism going on in Hollywood that is designed to destroy black families. All of this stuff that you see going on, and even and I shouldn't even just say Hollywood because, this is the 21st century. Not everything is derived out of Hollywood anymore. That used to be how it was back in the day. Everything came from either, when you're talking about the media and television, it all came from either New York City or from Los Angeles, California, but I should just refer to it really as just media because you can see the symbolism on YouTube, you can see it on TikTok, you can see it on Instagram, and you can definitely see it in the media that we consume, whether it be on network, whether it be on movies, and so forth. But these images are all premeditated, and to be honest with you too, the white people started it, but black people always adopt things that white people do. And I'm going to prove that when I do Swarm, which is on Amazon Prime, and I think it was done by Donald Glover, and it stars Dominique Fishback. And that's going to show you just how black people get in on breaking up black families. But let's just focus on right now, getting back to the television show, or should I say the cable show, Your Honor, which I do believe appears on Showtime. It is a Showtime production, and it stars Bryan Cranston, who most people will know him from Breaking Bad. It also has in there Isaiah Whitlock from The Wire, and it also has everyone's favorite bedwench, Carmody Jogo, playing her typical role as a bedwench. Spoiler alert. This show is actually, this consists of two seasons, 2 seasons of 10 shows each, so it's 20 shows in all, and just found out that it has not been renewed for a third season. Thankfully so. They kind of wrapped it up anyway on season 2. But the show was actually pretty decent. I will say that. It was a pretty decent show. I'm just tired of the continuous rhetoric that is pushed in front of us. The point that I want to focus in on this show, if you ever watch it, and I'm not going to give away the premise of the show, but Bryan Cranston plays a judge. So thus the title of the show, Your Honor. And, he has a son. There's I guess you could say a mafia type family or a white gangster type family in there, led by, I think, Michael Stolberg. I remember him from Boardwalk Empire when he played the Jewish gangster. I do believe it was a Jewish gangster out of New York City that was Nucky. He kind of was Nucky Thompson's adversary at one point, and they kind of collaborated together. And I actually dug Boardwalk Empire. I thought it was a great show, but I'm digressing. But Michael Stolberg plays the leader of the white gangster family, and then there's a black, gangster family led by, I think it's Andrine Ward Hammond. I do believe she's the lead on that. But in the show, what I want to focus on is this. When you watch this show, and again, it's about a judge, Michael Cranston, and he has a son, Michael Stolberg, who plays Jimmy Baxter. He has his family. He has a son, 2 sons actually. Their families are going to kind of have a collision. That's how their paths are going to cross. I'm not going to give away the show. But when you watch this show, what I want to focus on is this. Michael Cranston, again, playing Michael Desiato. His love interest is none other than, take a guess, America's favorite bedwench, Carmody Jogo. Again, they always like pairing up these very light-skinned mulatto blacks to be the love interests of white men. They always like what they try to do in these movies by showing you this over and over and over again. And you can go through all of my other videos. you can see that what they've done is they realign black women, typically light-skinned black women, with white men. So they kind of make them appear to be not black. So now you're creating this second race, because now you listen to when people talk, these people don't even associate as being black. They associate as being I'm other, just I'm out there. So they've kind of created their own race, as you if you want to say, for lack of a better term. So when a lot of times now, when you watch these images over and over in media, you don't consider them to be a part of your group. They don't consider themselves to be a part of your group. They align because they've been paired up with white men so much. When you start seeing this, you immediately identify them as being with the white man. And you can see this now on the streets. A lot of these light-skinned girls now are dating white men, because now the color lines have been broken down. There's no stigma. They've kind of created themselves as their own different race. They're checking. They've added an other box in the Census Bureau for them to check. So that's what they're doing. But getting back to Your Honor, she plays a lawyer, and all of this is based in New Orleans. Let me set that tone down as well. This show is based in New Orleans. She's playing a lawyer. So again, you have the light-skinned black female playing this, rich, uppity, upper class role. And in this show, she's aligned with Bryan Cranston, who plays Michael Desiato. Her character's name is Lee Delamere. So, she's having her little love scenes with a white man. Once again, her love interest is there. When you see it, she has this, this passion, this love for white men. She barely interacts with Isaiah Whitlock, the character from The Wire. She barely interacts with him. He plays the mayor, or he plays a person running for mayor who actually gets the job. And he kind of endorses the relationship, because he says to Bryan Cranston's character, who's Michael Desiato, he says, I hope you're hitting that. When he sees her, he says, I hope you're hitting that. It's kind of basically a black man giving his blessing for a white man to sleep with Carmine Jogo. In this movie, Isaiah Whitlock has no love interest in this show. Again, black man who's just a sexually ambiguous character. He's just there to provide either some kind of spiritual or moral compass to the show, which this character does not, spoiler alert. But he's just there. He's a non-sexual being in the show. Once again, the castration of the black man, where you have Michael Desiato, who's played by Bryan Cranston. He is fully virile and ready to give it to Lee Delamere, played by Carmine Jogo. The only time she interacts with black people is she interacts with them twice. She's interacting with this character named Eugene Jones, played by Benjamin Flores. He's a young boy who gets in trouble, has a run-in with the law. Won't tell you what it's about. But so again, they put the black woman in a role where the black man is a victim. He's in the court system. He's in the system. And the only time that a black woman is interacting with him is in a non-sexual, non-relationship, non-loving way. It's just really to see him as a victim, to try to help him get off, and not get off in a sexual way. Get off as in beat these charges that he's been hit with. And that's the only time you see them interact. She interacts with another black character. I don't know the guy's name, but he plays a black prosecutor, federal, or the state prosecutor for New Orleans. And when she interacts with him, it's very adversarial. Again, she's a defense attorney defending her client, who's Eugene Jones, played by Benjamin Flores. And the black male is the lawyer, the DA. He's a district attorney, and all they do is argue. Once again, similar to that whole when Denzel Washington's son played in that movie with what's the girl that dates the white guys? Zendaya. All they did was argue. The whole movie was supposed to be a love movie. There was two characters in the whole movie. All they did was argue the whole time. But again, Carmine Jogo, all she's doing when she interacts with these black men is either she's defending them as victims or she's arguing with them. And that's what you see in this movie. The other dynamic that I want to point out in this show as well is you have, getting back to Michael Stolbarg's character, who's Jimmy Baxter. He's the head of this gang mafia type, the white gang mafia family, or crime family, should I say. And His character, he plays the patriarch of his family. So again, when you look at this gangster, even though he's a gangster, he's a sophisticated gangster. He owns restaurants, he owns hotels, he's building big developments. He is carrying himself in nice suits. He's dressing the part. Even his young son, dressing the part, nice suits. He has a wife who's her name is Gina Baxter, played by Hope Davis. She's by his side now. They're not going to have the greatest of relationships come season 2, but, and that's a spoiler alert, but he has a wife, he has 2 sons, and they're married. So you have a nuclear family. Once again, you show white people, even though they're gangsters, they have a nuclear family. There's a patriarch, who's Jimmy Baxter. You have his wife, Gina Baxter, and they actually have 3 children because they have a daughter and 2 sons. So let me just correct that. They have a daughter and 2 sons. So you have this nuclear family that's created, even though he's in he does some immoral things. Their family has conflict with the black gangsters in this show, who's led by Big Mo, whose character, and that's the character's name, played by Andrine Ward Hammond. Big Mo, she's a lesbian. She again, this is what we do to black people in these television shows. We make them a part of the LGBTQ community. Now, typically, they would have done that to a black male, but they did it to the black female. She's a lesbian. She's the dominant or the alpha of her crime family. She has her young nephew. So, of course, she's a single woman. She's not married. She just has a love interest who I think ultimately, I don't know if they're going to work out or not, but you have to watch the show. But then she's not a part of a nuclear family. She just has her nephew there that she doesn't even really treat like a nephew. You have to see this show. And it's just a whole bunch of crack rock dealing, pants saggy wearing, unsophisticated gangster type moves. And that's what you watch in this show. And that's pretty much it. This is not a long, drawn out analysis or breakdown of Your Honor. There was only 2 seasons, 20 shows. But this is just a repeat pattern that I'm just telling you, if you're watching TV subliminally, this stuff is sinking into your heads. And you're probably, if you're listening to this, you're probably in your 40s, your 50s, probably even your 30s. But imagine this when young kids are watching this in their teenage years. And they're watching shows like this. They're watching shows like Swarm, which I'm going to dissect in a few. And they're watching shows like Monsters Ball. And they're watching all of these different shows, and all they see are these light-skinned black women with white men. All they see is these beautiful black women with white men. And all you see is these black men as gay characters, or you see broken families, broken homes. That's all you see. When you start getting out here in the real world, and couple that with you're watching YouTube, and all you hear on YouTube or all you hear on TikTok is black women saying how much they hate how much they hate black men, and black men saying how much they hate black women, and they're going overseas to find real wives. And you have all of these different conflict, and all of this information is seeking into your brain every day. It's seeking into your brain every day. And that's the point that I want to drive home. I want us to start paying attention to what these people are showing to us on television, what these people are promoting to us, what these people are writing. Because you have to understand, when you write something, all of this stuff is fictitious. You have to understand that. All of these shows are fantasy, fictitious. Someone is sitting in a booth in an office saying, this is the show I want you to write, and these are the characters I want you to put. And someone's greenlighting this. And then there's somebody who's hiring the actors to play in certain roles. So there's always somebody who's casting these characters. And someone cast Michael Cranston as a white male, and someone said, you have to have a light-skinned black female lover. This is what they're doing. All of this is premeditated. Someone wrote this show and said the gangsters that have nuclear families are the white gangsters. They have the wives with the children and the family intact. The black ones will just give them broken homes, and they come from poverty and despair. Pay attention to this stuff when they write this stuff, and that you watch it over and over and over and over again. No matter how elegant or glamorous these shows are, they're still showing you the same stuff. It's just in a different format, different variation of the same stuff you see every day. This is the Political Brown Kid. I'm signing off. Please pay attention to, be on the lookout for more content. Please like and please subscribe, and please also let your friends know. Please leave comments as well. I'm out of here.